Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon Geeky Sparkles sitting this video out. We're going to talk about the video game industry, the Game Awards, and drama. I guess there's all kinds of fresh drama. We had a protest, I guess, at the Game Awards, and there are some conspiracy theories around Clair Obscur Expedition 33 winning all kinds of awards. In fact, I think it was like the most winningest game in the history of the Game Awards. And for once, a game that gamers actually agreed was Game of the Year won everything pretty much. And some people are mad about it. We're going to talk about this. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, if you want more Clownfish TV, if that's a thing you actually want, go out to more, M-O-R-E clownfishtv.com. That's more, M-O-R-E at more.clownfishtv.com. There we go. So this is coming from The Guardian, and I saw the headline, and I didn't even realize there was a protest, I guess, at the Game Awards. But the article is written by Alyssa Mercanti. So she's still getting work. I thought she was heckled out of the industry or whatever, but this is kind of an interesting take because a lot of people have been displaced in the video game industry. And like, look, I'm not happy about people losing their jobs. I want to be clear. But that being said, the AAA video game industry as it exists or existed up until this year, it was not sustainable. So if that's what the complaints are about, it really just comes down to economics, and we're going to have a lot more people get laid off, I think, especially if Netflix buys Warner Brothers. They don't seem to really care too much about Warner Brothers games. They just don't. But we'll talk about this protest, and then we're going to talk about Clair Obscur and conspiracy theories. So this is coming from The Guardian, which has a big-ass banner here, guys. Support us. Support us at The Guardian because the ad revenue is drying up. Support us at more.clownfishtv.com. Our industry has been strip mined. Video game workers protest at the Game Awards. Okay, so outside the lavish event, workers called out the greed in the industry that has left games being sold for parts to make a few people a lot of money. I don't know if they're completely wrong about that. I'm going to be honest. It seems like all these companies are consolidating and getting strip mined. Now, here's what's ironic about this, though. So Alyssa Mercanti and that Smash JT, apparently they don't like each other very much. There's a lawsuit going on. I believe Smash JT was invited to the Game Awards because I saw pictures of him at the Game Awards with his kid. So I'm sure that didn't go very well. I'm just saying, I'm sure that didn't go over very well with some people. Anyway, it's the night of the 2025 Game Awards, a major industry event. This was a couple days ago, obviously. Major industry event where the best games of the year are crowned and major publishers reveal forthcoming projects, except for Half-Life 3. That did not happen. In the shadow of the Peacock Theater in LA and next to a giant demonic statue promoting Divinity, which would be announced on stage later that evening, stands a collection of people in bright red shirts. Many are holding signs, a tombstone honoring the death of the Game Awards. Wow. How come if YouTubers say that the video game industry is dead, we're like alt-right Nazi bigots, but if these guys say the video game industry is dead, it's totally fine, guys. It's totally fine. They said, we're done playing. And wanted posters for Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick and Microsoft CEO Phil Spencer. This is a protest. Wanted. We're done playing. Yeah, you probably are done playing because I don't think that they're going to call you back to work. I'm just saying. The protesters who were almost denied entry to the public space outside the Peacock Theater, we knew they were coming, one jokes, are from the United Video Game Workers Union, an industry-wide direct join union for North America that is part of the Communication Workers of America. Now, these, the CWA, if I remember correctly, that was the same union that got, I think it was the same union that got Image to unionize their office workers, but the Image office staff, they're pretty much just like traffickers, like, because Image is actually a whole bunch of smaller companies under one like co-op umbrella. So they wanted input into what got published. I'm like, well, it depends on who's publishing. Is it Skybound? Is it McFarlane? You know what I'm saying? And that's where I kind of draw the line with unions. Like, I'm not against them completely if the working conditions are piss poor. And I do know in the video game industry, sometimes the working conditions are piss poor. But where I draw the line is when they want to dictate what the company can and cannot publish, because that's not your That's above your pay grade, basically, right? It is. So we're out here today to raise awareness of the plight of the game worker, says Anna C. Webster, chair of the freelancing committee. Our industry has been strip mined for resources by these corporate overlords, and we figured the best place to raise awareness of what's happening in the games industry is at the culmination, the final boss, the Game Awards. So yeah, Webster is referencing several things here. More than 40,000 layoffs have decimated the industry over the past few years. Just last month, Grand Theft Auto developer Rockstar Games was accused of union busting after firing more than 30 staff. My understanding was that they were talking shit about the company and the company's Slack, or they were leaking secrets in the company's Slack, and Take-Two Interactive has sent thugs to a guy's house before for like leaking Borderlands stuff. So yeah, just saying. AI is being rapidly injected into the game development process. The industry seems unwilling to reckon with these issues. I recently read that a 3-minute trailer at the Game Awards cost more than $1 million, says the union's local secretary, Caitlin Bonfiglio. Despite the pomp and circumstance of all this, they never seem to acknowledge the historic amount of layoffs that have happened in the industry. Look, it's not hard. I don't completely disagree that these corporations are strip mining IP. For sure. I mean, we're in the end game now, right? But also a lot of these AAA titles have not sold. And if they don't sell, there's no money. Where's the money supposed to come from? You spend $300 million on a game, you bring in $100 million, maybe. You lose $200 million. I mean, look at Warner Brothers. They had a massive hit with Hogwarts Legacy, and all those gains got wiped out the following year by Suicide Squad. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just give people millions of dollars because you're nice? I mean, that's not how this works, guys. I mean, it just isn't. Now, I think what is going to come out of this, and what I think is really cool, is that we have, probably more so than previous years, we have a thriving indie game scene. Most of the excitement that I've seen from gamers is coming from the indie space, or from, AA studios, AA titles, not the AAA stuff. And that means that we might go back to making games cheaper. We might go back to making more creator-owned games, and individual creators might actually prosper more than if they'd worked for some corporation. But like, they're laying people off because the money's not there, right? I mean, we covered this for the last couple of years. Like, every AAA title, for the most part, over the last 3-4 years has been a massive failure. Ask Ubisoft how that works, right? They said for the union, there's a core issue. It's all about greed. Anyone who works in the game industry can identify that our art form is being sold for parts to make a few people a lot of money. See also Hollywood. See also animation. See also like every other piece of media. It's not just video games. It isn't. It's everything. And they don't care about the games. Nope. They don't care about the art. Nope. They just want their money. Yep. If you're someone who loves video games, if you're frustrated by games that launch buggy and delayed and are delayed messes, if you're frustrated by games you're excited about getting canceled without warning, all that ties back to what we're doing here, says their treasurer. I would argue that a lot of these games shipped buggy, shipped unfinished, and some of these people were working at those companies when that happened. Now, could it be the fault of the corporation? Oh, absolutely. They could be like, hey, this has to be shipped out in Q3, and though it's definitely not ready. But there were a lot of people working on these games who helped ship subpar product. It failed miserably, and then the company made a financial decision. Again, I mean, this is a very complicated situation here, right? But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that they're charging $1 million for a 3-minute trailer. I am surprised that we can't see more like gambling apps and shit, gotcha games or whatever. But what really surprised me was Clair Obscur. If you want to talk about AA titles doing really, really well, this one just won all kinds of awards. And normally, the awards would have gone to a Last of Us or another like major first party game. And that's not what happened here. I mean, I feel bad for anybody that went up against Clair Obscur. It's like you were done. Like you were not going to win. 99% chance you were not going to win. So this is coming from Polygon. Expedition 33's Game Award sweep fuels online drama and conspiracy theories. Why? What are, okay. Wait, about Israel? Wait, hold on a second. Wait a second. So on TikTok, they're saying that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is linking the game to Israel. Oh, okay, hold on. So we're making a click. Okay, the platform warns users TikTok is not open about the way the algorithm works. Okay. So if you search for Expedition 33 Israel, they said there's some combination of the algorithm and users is linking the game to Israel and appears to be related to how decisively Expedition 33 dominated the Game Awards. So they're saying that because Expedition 33 dominated the Game Awards, it has links to Israel? Is that what they're saying? That the game couldn't just be good? I mean, that's weird. Okay. Despite being heavily favored and the most nominated game ever, some gamers are upset by the outcome and claim sincerely or for the memes that there is a conspiracy afoot. Rather than deal with their disappointment normally, these gamers are actively attempting to discredit the game by associating it with Israel, which has become an online shorthand deployed to make any topic socially radioactive by proxy. Netanyahu summoning 3,000 billion IDF soldiers to vote Expedition 33 for every category. Yeah, I'm sure he plays it. I'm sure he plays it and loves it. I remember a couple of years ago, was it Atomic Heart? Was that the name of the game? That was developed in Russia and you were supposed to boycott it because something Russia. Don't play Tetris, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Don't play Tetris. This person said, yeah, bro, I think Expedition 33 deserved every single game award despite gameplay of it being lost media, and it's not Israeli funded. Okay, there are plenty of onlookers who are unhappy with Expedition 33's Game Awards success, which furthers the spread of disgruntled videos and comments on TikTok and, by extension, the suggested search term that connects the game with Israel. Okay, so discourse over its eligibility for awards like Best Indie have flowed since the nominees were announced, in part because the game did have millions of dollars in budget and the backing of a publisher. Yeah, and most of the people that worked on it, I think, worked for Ubisoft at one point. Clair Obscur's background is humble when compared to heavyweights like Battlefield 6, which reportedly have budgets up to $400 million. My God, and small armies putting everything together. Winning the indie category has only reignited the flames, especially when fellow nominee Megabonk saw its developer pulling himself out of the running over concerns he had not properly fit the debut indie category. So there's a conspiracy. So people are just pissed off, basically. They're pissed off the game won everything. And so, it's welcome to gaming, right? Everything is a controversy. So there we go, guys. What do you think? What do you think? Were you happy with the Game Awards? Or are you happy how things worked out? I don't know. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.